Oh, okay. I found some hot chocolate, which was absolutely gorgeous. So a little bit of a look around town. There's Lenin. They do love Lenin here. So, what were we saying about Bran-Howl? That's right. Uh, we are going to have a Patreon, but it's not really going to be for raising money. It's more for raising awareness, and that's why we're giving back as many gifts as you can. Um, Sometimes they won't allow you to give a gift because apparently you're not giving enough money, but that's what will happen. So say for example you're giving $5 or $6 a month, you will receive the full amount of gifts we can with that. It's more that if people do want to support, that's fine, but we'd rather we're going to be trading, making things, selling things, and that's how we'd like people to support us, by either moving here or by buying things from our shop or from our affiliated shops. We're hoping to set up a network across Europe. It's quite pretty here. Sorry, I'm distracted. Oh yes, the little kind of baby church. It looks gorgeous. Sorry. Yeah, we're hoping to set up a network. Well, we are setting up a network of other nations and creative people. You don't have to necessarily be your own nation. But that's what we're, Salacia and Bran-Howl are working on that, and already there are quite a few other people who are interested who will be producing various things. Not entirely sure, we're still in the planning phase, and obviously Christmas and New Year happened. So we'll probably have one centralised shop, and we're going to have I'm not sure what the payment system will be, but we're going to have our own currency. That's certainly happening. Two forms of currency. One will be actual coins, and the other will be backed currency, i.e. you have an account, you get X amount of currency, and so you can always cash out. It'll be whatever is put in plus probably 5%. So that way we can be the middleman. So if person A is buying for something from person C, we're B, we're in the middle, and so we make sure the thing has arrived, it is what it is, and the other person gets paid. If they don't have the funds to buy it, then it's up to the seller to decide whether he wants to risk it or whether he wants to wait until they do. It's a bit noisy. So I'll just show you the this road isn't used. That's this lovely kind of archway. Behind it's their World War II monument. So yeah, Bran-Howl and Salacia together, we will be making sure everyone's happy, everybody's safe, and we're not going to be charging for this service. The 5% will be when people buy into the currency. The currency will cost 5% extra, so, and that 5% will account for the price of silver going up, or there may be some other fees, but we don't want to start getting into that. We don't want to be charging people for what we're doing. We want people to be able to trade freely. But we'll decide. There might be some, maybe for new nations joining, or new buyers and sellers, maybe something at the end of the year we can tally up what's left over, and maybe something will be done with that, but probably not. It'll probably just be kept there where people can see it and see that their money is safe. They're not being overcharged for what they're getting, and what they're getting is still there. So like I said, everybody can cash out on the first day of whatever month they want, and the only time restraint will be how long it takes us to process it all, because the money will be there and it will be open so that everybody can see. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. I do like a bit of history here. There's the Eternal Flame. There's another one in Tiraspol as well. Yeah. And so that's how the trade is going to work. And obviously there'll be postage, but then there's always postage. And as far as taxes and things selling to other countries, well, the first few trades are going to be the expensive ones, because they're the ones where we find out what the import limit is and what sort of items they won't allow in. And so once we have that information, that'll all be posted, so anybody new joining or any existing customers or partners can just have a look, or they can send an email and ask somebody and get answers. We want to keep it as simple as possible, so it is basically person A makes something, no matter what it is, they have a price. If somebody wants to buy it, that's it, they can buy it. Sorry, I keep looking around because it's icy and I don't want to fall on my butt. Oh, sorry, my hand's getting cold again. So, and that's another part of what Bran-Howl especially, and to a degree Celestia, is trying to do, is to get people on site. Hopefully Celestia will have their own plot or plots at Bran-Howl. That's something we're discussing, and I think it's more a case of figuring it out, because it's not going to be some massive financial burden, and it also means that they can actually have people producing things. So just something like produced in Celestia, for example, is something I think would be nice for them to have, and it creates a job for somebody who actually wants to fully immerse themselves in whatever, whether it's a hobby or an actual trade or a dream. They can come to Bran-Howl, and I'm not sure what this, well, it's whatever Celestia calls their little plot is up to Celestia. I guess it would be Celestia. But yeah, they can actually have people on the ground doing things, raising chickens, weaving, growing lots of natural dyes. That's something which Celestia and Bran-Howl are very much focused on. That'll be one of the first things we're doing. Purely, excuse me. Oh dear. Purely because we have the space to do it. And once the other plot is acquired, we'll have even more space. And so there's around 2,000 square meters that can be used to grow things, and everything grows here in the summer. You know, watermelons, every vegetable you'd imagine, plums, pears, peaches. There's a couple of peach trees there, and so that will be, it'll be something that is quite easy to get up and running. Having our own little weaving mill. People can make wool, Angora rabbits, that sort of thing. And so things will be literally, Celestia will be, and Bran-Howl will be producing things that are 100% grown on site. They are made, you know, grown and made in Celestia, for example, by Celestians, which I think will send Queen Neve over the moon the first time something purely Celestian rolls off the line. I think we'll all be hearing about that. And oh god, there's so much. I really should write a script, but then it's sitting down and doing stuff, and when there's snow outside I find it difficult. I think what else would there be? That's basically it. In a nutshell, people are welcome to, I don't want to say apply, it sounds so pretentious, but if you want to get in contact and talk about your ideas, find out some more exact details, I'm sure there's most of the information you'll want to need I've missed. I'll put a link and you can send me an email, Queen Neve as well, because we're talking quite regularly, and tell us what you're looking for, and we'll see what we can do, because that's the other thing, we don't have set requirements to join, and the main requirement to join is someone who's willing and not an arsehole. Basically, there's too many of those these days, and we just want a simple, happy life, and as simple as possible. And that's basically it. If somebody wants to come and experiment building houses, absolutely, roll on up and we'll get some materials together and sort that out. If you want to come and grow Angora rabbits and harvest and weave Angora, absolutely, come and do it. You want to have some chickens and make some eggs and cakes? Come and do that too. I'm sure there's lots more ideas than I've mentioned today that people will have. Like I said, for renting a plot at Bran-Howl, which is how we're going to work it, because we do need to produce money, but having taxes and all that jazzmatazz is kind of, I don't like it. So it'll be 100 square meters, will cost you around 90 euros or dollars, pretty much the same these days, a month. That will include Wi-Fi. It says unlimited, truly unlimited fiber optic. It'll include water, and as I said, the electricity is minimal, and so it'll literally be whatever the bill is minus. Bran-Howl will probably pick up half the bill, and then the others will be split. The rest of the bill will be split between whoever's there. But we'd have a base. So basically, the first, let's say, don't hold me to this. Let's say the first $45 of the electric bill is Bran-Howl's, and we pay half of everything after that, and that half will be split between the residents, or the plots, more accurately. But again, in the summer it'll be negligible. It'll be virtually nothing. So the total cost per month, 300 to 500 euros a month is what it'll cost you, depending on how much you eat, really, and if you have pets and how many of you there are. The lowest it could be, I'd say 300. 300 would be, you're not going to be living off toast and pasta, but you're not going to be having steaks and eating out all the time. So it depends on what people want to do, and also as soon as we can grow vegetables either to exchange locally or between each other, so we're self-sufficient food-wise, that'll be something we're definitely looking into. Not problem, but the caveat with that is things here are so cheap. You can get a kilo of pork chops for 72 rubles. So it's 16 to $1. So you can do the maths on that one. It's very, very cheap. Eggs and all those sorts of things. There are certain items like eggs and meat that will be probably more cost effective to buy from locals, which also I want to encourage, because although we are us and doing what we're doing, we do want to be part of the community as well, so that buying certain things, if it's cost effective from outside, would be great. Bread, all that jazzmatazz. They're closed, okay. But then there'll be other things that they don't grow locally that we can grow at a premium, so we can either exchange sweet potatoes for chickens, or the money we get from rhubarb, crumble pies or whatever. There's lots of options. That it doesn't have to, for Bran-Howl and Silesia at least, the trade doesn't have to be all across Europe. It can be locally, and it can be, and there's not lots of money here, but if you wanted to move here and live on as little as possible, you probably could get away with $90 a month for your rent, and then maybe a $5 or a $10 on top of it, depending on what you're making and producing. And we would always encourage, or try and keep the price down for everybody. The only reason we need the $90 is pretty much so we can help buy building materials for the next people turning up, and expand what we're doing, buy the plot next door. If there's a new idea that people have, Bran-Howl will be able to put up half the cash and the residents find the other half, and we give it a try, as long as everybody agrees on it and it's done sensibly. So that's where the money's going. The money's not going to be going into my bank account. It's not going to be paying for my Wi-Fi or any of that jazz. it is going to be used on Celestia and Bran-Howl. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'll leave all my details down below, and hopefully the more videos I make, the better I'll get at it. Okay, thanks for listening.